Well, I got a problem here. Usually when we open our poo, we usually can knock it out, get it back up to speed in a couple of days, but it's been about a week now. So what I've come to the conclusion is, I researched the history of our poo and realized that this is like the 5th year on this sand. So I think that's the problem. So I went down to my local poo store and bought me 4 bags, 50-pound bags of sand. I got my tractor up here because I'm going to try to work this filter drum over into my bucket and try to get the sand out in that. So I'm going to be able to plug this skimmer with this little doodad. This thing over here, I'm just going to try to stick a rag down inside the poo there where the deal comes out. I may try to close that. There's actually a way that you can adjust that blower. I'm going to try to close it if I can. And if not, I'm just going to try to shove a rag up in there, and I'm just going to take this and just lay it back over in the poo after I clean it up some. So anyway, I'm going to get started on that. Okay, so I'm going to take this one off first. I've got everything plugged off. I actually found me an old wine cork that I plugged into that exhaust or the return there, and hopefully that'll hold it. And I'm going to try to drop this line back over in it, but I'm going to be getting wet here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead, for whatever reason, I'm going to close this. It's probably don't. Actually, that's good. Because that should quit momentarily, so that's fine. We'll run a little bit of water out. Actually, I'm just going to put it on waste. So let's go ahead and see if I can pop this one off. Still needs to come off a little bit. I don't know if I've got the camera aimed right or not. I pretty sure do. It's definitely a close-up for sure. Wow. Okay. That should be coming off there. Okay, there we go. All right. Cool, no big deal. All right, now I'm going to swap to a 10. See if I can get this one off right here. Oh, Lord. Uh-oh. We're in trouble now. Woo, we're in trouble now. All right, looks like I'm gonna have to cut that, so we're in trouble on that one. Okay, so looks like I'm gonna try to hack this off with a hacksaw. You see there, I've actually got a new one of these ordered. It hadn't come in. Let me see. If I can get, there we go. Woo! I'm glad this GoPro's waterproof. All right. Well, that was interesting. Okay, so that's not too bad. So let's set this saw down. Let me tilt the camera just a little bit. All right, so let me see if I can get this off, because I don't want it to go back in the poo. So that's no good. I'll have to go. And now I've got to cut that tie off. Well, I probably don't have to. Probably save it, I guess. Save it and use it later. Maybe. Get it off there. Okay. That's all that was doing, was holding that up, so I'll save that. We'll take that off so it won't fall back in the poo. Dang carpenter bees. Carpenter bees are getting up in my wood up there. Okay, so let me get this off. So, well, I'm tightening it. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Get this baby off and start letting this thing drain. Takes a while for it to drain. All right. So, set that aside. Okay, let's get this valve system off. Well, there's enough water. That cork I had actually had a hole drilled through it because I used it to blow up rafts. So it's still leaking. So I've got this right here, old wine cooler salvage kind of thing that you're supposed to be able to put in, and let me try it, see if that'll work. Water's gonna start pouring out now. No, that's not gonna work. All right, well, let me see how I got a hole in that. So let me just put it back in there. Maybe I can plug the end of that hole up with something. I guess if I stuck it up high enough, or actually just dropped it back over in the poo. Of course, I'd have to have something to hold it down. That's amazing how that water will push itself down and actually be able to push itself up that high. It was just that little bit of trickle of water. Let's see how that holds up. Okay, so I've got, this is ready to come out. So let me go ahead and take it out. And woo, that right there is going to take a long time. I may have to go get my to kind of speed this process up. I believe I'm going to go get my shop vac. Okay, so what I did, I've got my pump that I normally use in the winter. Set it down in there and see if I can pump some of that water out. Okay, so I was able to pump as much as I could with my pump there. I'm down to the sand on the pump, so put it back up. Now it's just a matter of time. Gotta wait and let that drain. It's a slow drain, that's for sure. Okay, so I finally got enough water out of it. Woo, you can see that green algae in it. So I'm just gonna try to just use this spade shovel here and just try to look at that green algae right there. Wow. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I can get it down to where I can flip it over. Okay, it's coming out. I'm able to lift that PVC pipe up a little bit, so I'm able to really get in there and get me a big chunk of it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but so it's coming along. All right, so I was finally able to, I got one more. Actually, I got two more. So I got two more to spin and close up. Okay, here we go. I got one. Well, I got one more. Okay, I got the camera turned crazy. All right, I finally got it out. See, that thing was in there like that with all these stuck out. So I finally got that out. So now I'll clean that up later. Now I should be able to turn that upside down and get the rest of that sand out of there. Now this spade shovel is really nice to get the rest of this sand out of here. So at least until I can turn it upside down, but and then get a hose pipe after it. So okay, finally got the drum, got it cleaned out, got it back in place. So I'm going to clean this octopus up a little bit and okay, now you have to stick this baby in there and open those octopus legs back out. Make sure they're all down as far as you can get them, or at least as far as I can get them. I'm just going to try to pick up not too hard because I don't want to break that PVC pipe out of there. This is actually not the original PVC pipe. This is actually a replacement. All right, let me work with it a little bit more and see if I can get them all down. Okay, I ended up taking this thing back out because I couldn't get all these arms down all the way because there was sand in the, there was sand down in there, and I want to make sure all these things will fold all the way down. So it's worth, you know, taking your time, making sure that it goes back in right. If one or two or three of these tentacles are not all the way down, you know, it may cause the filter not to work at, you know, 100%. I may be wrong about it, but it just makes sense to me that these tentacles need to be all the way down as far as they're designed to go. So, like I said, there was sand stuck in there, so I wanted to clean it up and make sure I could get them all the way down. So, I don't know if you can see down in there or not. But anyway, I got it in there. Now I need to get something like a sandwich bag or something and put over the top of that pipe there, because you don't want sand going down in that when we're putting the sand in. So I need to adjust it just a little bit, and then I need to put some water in it. So let's kind of get that started. So what I did, instead of a sandwich bag, I just had an old coffee cup we had out here. So I just set the coffee cup over it. So I've got one bag in. And now basically I'm just gonna run water in it. And so the sand has settled down. And then I will finish putting the rest of the bags of sand in. But before you start putting your water in, put your plug back in the bottom of the barrel. So some of these bags like these, there's a blue piece in there. If you grab it, pull it inside, you know, pull it back, it'll make a nice little kind of funnel kind of thing for you. See, this is what I'm talking about. If you'll look inside right there, you'll see, and you can grab that with some pliers and pull it out. Then you can kind of cut around it a little bit, but it makes a nice little funnel kind of thing. At least this particular brand does. Okay, so I got my new sand in. I got water about 6 inches from the top of that pipe. I don't want to go up any further with the water. So let's get this mounted back on and get this thing hooked up, and hopefully it's going to go in there just right. And that's about the way it was originally. That's the pump, and that's going to the exhaust. That's the washout. Okay, so okay, it holds on now. Let me get this one in. If I can't get that. Come on, baby, get back in there. All right. Okay. Oh yeah. Make sure we're good. Let's get this side. I don't want I think that's probably good. I don't want to get it. I never have really closed it. It really don't need to close. That should do it. Put another little click on it, and I'll click this one, and that ought to be good enough. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. I think that's going to be the wrong size. That was actually this one that broke. Now let that be a lesson, boys and girls. When your clamp has been on there so long that it's rusted, it's probably about time to change the sand out. So this actually would have been the fifth season of that sand. So I'm just about pretty sure that that's what the problem was. And I'm pretty confident it was, because usually we don't have any trouble getting our poo right. And we've had this thing open for a week and it just, that's just not right. So the sand was absolutely nasty. I mean, you could see green algae in the sand. And what happens is, after, you know, working in your filter for a long time, the sand actually breaks down. It becomes real smooth. See, what you want in sand for a filter, you want it to have rough edges. And that's the way that it can capture, you know, waste, and especially algae. So you don't want the sand to be that fine. Okay, yeah, that'd be good. This is I know this is in the way, but I wanted to get this where that end piece was running down, because I would hit my hands on those things. So that's pretty tight right there. I'm gonna let that be, because I can always come back and tighten it. Now, actually, we're getting pretty close now. Get this back in. Okay, I got the plug out. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put that tie back on there. Dang it. I'm gonna have to get me a tie. Yep. I forgot to put that back on there. So it ain't gonna be no good to me now. I think I've got. Okay. Found me another tie. Let's see. Put it like that. All right. We're plugged up. Let me get my little stopper out from my exhaust. See, that's what I had. See, this old cork here, I had a hole in it because I used to use it to blow up inner tubes. And I'd stick my air hose in there. So this was a broke, so that's how I did that. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Use what you got sometimes. All right, I don't see anything wrong. That's my washout. My tractor's kind of in the way. I'm not going to worry about plugging that back up. But I am going to put this thing on recirculate first. I think, I'm not sure. What I should do there. I think I'm going to put it on recirculate for right now. Ooh, you can smell the chlorine. I mean, we put so much chlorine in this thing. All right, well, let's fire it up, see what happens. That's really what I wanted to see. That water didn't drop low, so that's a good thing. It's circulating. So it's blowing through. I'm gonna let that run a little bit. See how that's kind of acting like it's wanting to clear up? But I still got plenty of algae that's on the bottom. But, all right, I'm gonna go kick the filter in. Not gonna go down that way. Let me go down the safe way. All right, let me turn this off, drop this basket back in there. Let's put it on the filter system, fire it up. And hope that that's not sand blowing in there. I don't believe it is. I don't feel. But it's definitely blowing back clear water. Let's go up here and see what it looks like now. Okay, so at this point I've got new sand, got it hooked back up. The pump is filtering, it's going through the filter system. So we will watch it, see if we can't get this poo cleaned up. It actually looks better than it did this morning. I don't know, it's because maybe it just set all day in the chlorine we had in it, but some of it looks good on the other side. That's the, I've never been able to see the side over there this year. All right, okay, well, we'll check it tomorrow and the next day and we'll see what it looks like, and I'll report it and we'll see if this has solved our problem. Okay, so this is the next morning. We had a heavy rain that came through last night, so the poo is really up past the skimmer. It looks a little bit better on this end, on the wall. I still got some algae really that has settled on the bottom of the poo. Okay, we're still, as you can see, we are struggling with this poo. So I'm going to try something I've never done before, and that is I'm going to vacuum using backwash instead of having it go through the filtration system. So I'm gonna fill the hose with water. And then we're just gonna try to vacuum and let it backwash. So we're gonna do this stuff right here, and we're gonna do 2 shocks, and we're gonna let it set for a while, an hour I think, or 2 hours. We may wait until the rain passes through before we put the algae side in here. But I'm going to set my pump on recirculate. I'm not gonna pump it through the filter system. So the recirculate basically should just come through here, go through this baby, and come out here and go back to the poo. So that's what we're gonna do. This is why we're having such a hard time with this poo. Every time we turn around, it rains. So anyway, we've got a shot. We hadn't done our algae side yet, so we're just gonna wait till this rain flows through. All right then. That looks pretty clean right there. I mean, as far as the water. All right, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna put this back on the filter. Now, these instructions right here show 16 ounces for 10,000. This poo holds about just, it's under 7,000 gallons. So I'm going to fire this baby back up. And I'm going to put roughly, not quite 16 ounces. It's close to 16 ounces, but we'll just pour that in there. And go with that. Now it indicates to run the poo for 24 hours, basically, is what it's saying to do. Okay, so this is the next morning. I did not run the pump all night, but it's actually looking better. So we tested the chemical levels, and it showed that we should, now I did backwash it by the way, and it did have green algae, you know, looking, was in my bubble, and it cleared up. So we put a bag of shock. We increased the pH level by 1 cup, and we increased the alkalinity by 1 cup. And then I put another chlorine tablet in the skimmer. So that's where we are. So I backwashed it. We checked our poo balance. I'm gonna put some alkalinity in it and pH up, and then let it run for about an hour or so. Then I'm gonna put 8 ounces of that algae side in it. And I think that's gonna get the poo cleared up here in another day. And hopefully we'll be able to see the bottom. All right, can it be here? FinalGate.com. Woo! Man, you talking about from green to blue. Wow, it took about 7 days from the time I changed the sand out. That's how long it took to clear this poo up. Now it's still a bit cloudy. We're hoping to be able to clean it up a little bit better before the 4th of July. But that's almost swimmable. It has come a long way. I didn't think we would ever get this poo looking blue again. Woo! I can see how I've got to get over there and clean the side. That's the first time I've actually been able to see the wall. So I see how I need to do some cleaning over there. But we'll get that taken care of, and we will be swimming for sure on the 4th. All right.